I'm gonna probably just make this video very brief, but I guess one question that's on people's minds if they're going into business or something, or small business, they say, what kind of accounting software should I use, and what type of bank should I use? Now, I've seen all kinds of accounting software, and actually I worked with set up and wrote a lot of custom reports. Used, I know some people say Access is junk too, but a lot of people don't understand how to use some of that. I made custom reports, even tapping into the actual database with Access on the most complicated builder software going. It was Intuit Master Builder, supposedly. But anyway, but I'm going to state this: most of the time, people, all they need is just plain old QuickBooks. QuickBooks is about as versatile as you can get. The only problem is sometimes with the security, maybe, but you can also have QuickBooks Online. That's one of the best damn deals going. They even have the multi-user function. I know it only goes so high or so much, but for most people, they're just a sole proprietor, or they got one other person or two other people working with them. That thing works. You can set up all the companies in the world you want with it, and it's simple. You can you can get the little portable version. You can export reports into comma separated value delimited type things and open them up in Excel. And it's to tell you the truth, man, I've seen all this garbage. You see, I know, like, the MIS people, the management information systems people, man, they want to sell you all this stuff. And a lot of times these other softwares, they'll have like keys. You have to unlock them every year, and then they'll have a key for more users. For most people, they don't have that kind of problem unless they're a bigger business. In other words, if they're a bigger business, they're not going to be going on YouTube and looking for advice on software anyway. I can tell you that right now. If they're a bigger business, they're going to be going to Cisco or somebody like that, one of the Cisco experts and everything, and security experts, and how to set up all the different users, and probably Linux experts and whatever the hell else out there. But they're not going to be going on YouTube and looking on a video anyway for what type of accounting software should I use. For most people, plain old QuickBooks works great. It's the cheapest, and I can tell you right now, don't be like, I know one thing, and this is another thing, even with the financial institutions, a lot of times what people do, as soon as they have money, they like going with the big name financial institution because they say, wow, I bank with such and such. I'll just throw a name out there, B of A, Bank of America or something, right? You're not necessarily getting the best deal. And I do know all these larger financial institutions, they need small business. They do, because it all adds up. The pennies add up. Don't think they're just all for the exclusive big guys, and that they like to emphasize that they will, talk with everybody. Because they do really need your business. There's no doubt about that. But from what I've always seen, I can tell you, I think the shrewdest business people in business I saw didn't go with any of those yo-yos, man, because you don't have any clout with them. It's like, hey, I ain't paying those stupid fake bank fees. I'm not paying that loan origination fee. That's too much. Remove these extra charges. Remove this. Get this garbage. I don't like the interest rate. You got a lot more negotiation power with a smaller bank. You do. And anybody that's a bit, you might not have all the leverage in the world, but you'll have some leverage. With the bigger guys, forget about it, man. It's like they might offer some thing carte blanche to everybody at once or something, but a lot of times that's a mistake people make, is they go to these people because they think, well, I got millions of dollars now, I'm going to go with this guy because it sounds good, because I'm going with the big name. They like dropping names. And the other thing is, there's always a big hard sell out there for the accounting software. Oh, you got more security, and this does this and that. I'm going to tell you right now, some of the cheapest, simplest stuff out there, which is plain old Intuit QuickBooks. Now, this is not an advertisement for them, or nothing, but I'm just telling you, there's a reason the damn stuff is popular. The only problem with it is, well, they got the multi-user function kind, they got the job costing kind for construction accounting. The only thing is, like, it's, but you know what? Nothing's really all that secure because, if you start getting into larger companies and stuff like that, they got a whole, like, MIS, management information systems team that'll provide the security, and it gets, much more complicated. But by and large, I know if anybody looking on YouTube for information as to what's the best accounting software, plain old Intuit QuickBooks. Now, the other thing is, no accounting software actually does the stuff that the tax software does. Like, when they're doing makers, modified accelerated depreciation type schedules and things like that, or like all the different things like, this doesn't equal that, or that, when you're actually doing your taxes, that's a whole nother thing. Maybe there's TurboTax for that, but, for my understanding, I don't really use TurboTax, but from my understanding, they don't have TurboTax they got it for sole proprietors. They don't have it. I don't think they have it for these tax softwares. They don't have it for S corps. And actually, if you're a sole proprietor, what you really want to do is set up a limited liability corporation and go as an S corp. Usually, most people want to do that because if you're going like as a sole proprietor, you're going to be paying the 15% self-employment tax. Whereas if your company is an S corporation, and now you can't be, I got to also state this, I don't know how this even works in other countries, to tell you the truth. I only know the USA. I know a little bit about what other countries with Cyprus and a tax haven and all that garbage, and I have some ideas of what Vladimir Putin probably does and hurt stuff. But I don't know everything about what goes on in other countries. I know in the good old USA, like the S corp is probably one of your better deals for the sole proprietor because you're not paying that 15% self-employment tax. So, all your gains and whatever, all your payments and stuff going through the S corp, and then you could draw it out. You could take an owner's salary. So, that type of stuff. Now, I guess the best thing to be is a 501(c). Just get yourself a Bible, and you're all set. Whatever you got to do that. Oh God, what a racket, man. Anyway, actually, it's my personal belief. I really don't like all this tax stuff because it's like you need the taxes to run a limited amount of government. But I just have to state this and live on this a little bit because it'd be a lot simpler if they freaking just had a national sales tax and they got rid of the IRS. And you pay for your tax at the point of sale. Duh! You're done. You know what I mean? The more stuff you buy, the more taxes you buy. That actually goes on with the rich, too, because they want a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? It's like they keep buying cars and houses and swimming pools and tennis courts and yachts and everything else. They pay sales tax. National sales tax. And it's none of this stuff where it's they got all these tax havens. But I guess, it's never going to change, right? It's never going to change. There's a reason, like the founding of the United States, they had to actually have an amendment to the Constitution to get the income tax through. Because it really is unconstitutional, as originally founded by the founding fathers. But anyway, be that as it may, I can tell you right now, I've seen companies that had, I don't know, many millions. I forgot what the hell it was. I mean, projects that were like worth, like one project was worth like $270 million, total cost of construction. That's a big project. That is not a small project. You know what they were using? QuickBooks. And I've seen other people using like Timberline, Intimate Master Builder, and I don't know, man. If you don't have that many people and that many users where you got to worry about, like setting up, like this person can only do payables and receivables, this person can only do bank recs and stuff like that, you don't need those fancy other softwares. You can just, if you're just like one or two people running the whole show and you trust each other, QuickBooks is fine. It really is. And then you can make a bunch of backups. You could say, the company is, and date the company, or back it up and then date the company and put it like, 20 2014-07-016 for today, and then, that's like a backup. Put it on a CD-ROM, read only, and you say, boom, there's a picture of it. I mean, and then, you could just go ahead and, and if you need to open up other companies, you want to open up LLCs, different LLCs for different ventures. Like, say you have a venture with somebody else, you open up another LLC. Well, you could just use the same software. Some softwares, they charge you by the user. Some softwares charge you by the year. Each year you got to unlock it. Usually they got that. Well, it depends. And then some go by the number of users. So, but QuickBooks, it's like, it's simple as all hell. A lot of big companies use it because they realize there's a big value in it, and a lot of people use that stuff. The problem is, like I said, this is a separate issue with tax software. If you're using a Subchapter S, I don't know if there's any tax software out there that you can use with a Subchapter S. That's like off the shelf, like TurboTax or something. I'm not really familiar with TurboTax. I don't really, I use the regular stuff that's in CPA firms. I don't know what the heck TurboTax has, but from what I've seen about it, I don't think it does the Subchapter S. It does the sole proprietor, like when you're paying self-employment tax. It doesn't do the Subchapter S. And actually, I just want to say, if you're dealing with foreign partners and you set up an LLC, you can't be a Subchapter S because it's a foreign partner. That's something else to consider. And, every state is different, so it's like, it's like different rules and stuff. You got rules on, the income tax for the state and stuff like that. If you're a corporation, you're in Florida, you pay the state income tax. If you're an S corp, whatever. I don't. It's like a lot of garbage like that. So also there's reasons why even like the big corporations get set up in Delaware, because it avoids the liability. They got a lot of legal protection for the corporation itself. And there's a reason why a lot of S corporations are set up in Nevada, because the managing members are actually more protected legally. So, interesting stuff. Anyway, but as far as like software goes, I don't. They probably are the biggest seller going as far as the number of copies of QuickBooks that's sold out there. It's probably the most popular one going. And there's a reason for it. It's simple. And don't let anybody think that because it's QuickBooks it's not the best. And bullshit. I've seen some people some major big numbers in QuickBooks, man. It was like they aren't getting sold on some crap where they gotta you see, because what happens is some of these people that sell this software, they want you dependent upon them, and there's like this big fee every year that you got to pay them, and you got specialists to come in here and train you how to use it, and it's a racket upon itself, and then you get more involved with running the software and the accounting software and your security than you are actually freaking running your own business. You know what I mean? Because that's going in their pocket. Anyway, just keep it simple, stupid. That's really the best way to freaking put it. And actually, a lot of times you'll find that the smaller banks, it don't have to be that small, but the local banks, maybe some of the Midwest and Texas banks and stuff like that, they might give you better deals in the Northeast, big established names that people like to throw around left and right. I've always found that out. So, that's my simple advice about accounting software and banking for entrepreneurs. If you're a big corporation, I'm sure you're not going on YouTube and you're trying to find information out on this, because you got plenty of people out there getting $150 to $800 an hour. You're telling you what to do. And actually, you'd probably be better off just using QuickBooks in a cheap, simple bank from Indiana or something. That right there will save you a lot of money and get rid of the specialist. Anyway, Over and out.